Welcome to this College for Adult Learning webinar on returning to study. My name is Sarah and I'm one of Cal's learning coaches and course coordinator. I'll be facilitating this discussion today. I'll be joined today by Michael Meir, Cal lecturer and lifetime student. Hi Michael.
Hello Sarah, thanks for having me.
There are lots of reasons for returning to study, including things like career progression, to advance your career, keep your job or to get a better job, or change your job or your career completely, just to name a few. In this 15-minute webinar, we'll cover off a few different areas around returning to study, including identifying 10 common anxieties experienced by adult learners. We will then explore Cal's guiding principles for adult learning and then finish off with 11 practical study tips that you can use right now. So let's begin with our first point here. Michael, and perhaps you can run us through some common anxieties that you're aware of from your years of teaching adults.
Sarah, over the years I've been asking students what are their anxieties about returning to study. Pretty much students have shared, they've shared 10 common concerns and anxieties. These are very reasonable and genuine. It's hard to go back to study after a break of 10 to 20 years.
What sort of things do they say, Michael?
Well, look, these aren't in any order or priority, and students, of course, may have more than one concern. Let's have a look at them. First one is, well, will I cope? Will I make a fool of myself? Am I up to the required standards? Will I be able to manage the workload? How many hours do I have to put in? Will I fit in with other students? How will I manage my partner and or children? How will I be assessed? Will there be exams? Look, I really didn't like school. Will this be like school? Will it be worthwhile? Will it help me keep a job, advance in a job, get a job?
I can certainly relate to them, Michael. I had some of these concerns when I returned to study to complete my training and assessment certificate. It can be quite intimidating, the thought of returning to study, especially because, well, you have a life now, for lack of a better expression. You're working, you have family commitments, and I mean, really, your time appears to be fully allocated, so it's hard to imagine how you can fit more in. So, Michael, what can people do about these anxieties, and can we help?
Sarah, as you well know, at Cal we're all about the adult learner. After all, that's what we are. We are the College for Adult Learning. Firstly, we start with our cafe-style facilities. These are very different from a classroom. Secondly, we have online, flexible programs that fit in and around your life, for you at your convenience, not the other way around. And finally, we practice what are called adult learning principles.
Michael, now that you've brought this up, I'm sure people are eager to learn more about how adult learning is different. So let's move straight into this topic and discuss what you mean by adult learning principles.
Sarah, adult learners have some key characteristics that set them apart from others. Firstly, adult learners love sharing experiences and learning from others, learning what's done in different industries and different businesses. It's really important to provide time for discussion. Adults are internally motivated and self-directed. Nobody's forcing them to study. They know what they want out of the study and why. Adults bring life experiences and knowledge to the learning places, into the rooms. Adults can bring 10, 20, 30 years of work experience to a group. Now that's a fantastic base of experience to work from. Adults, of course, are goal-oriented. They know what they want. They want to get something out of their study. They're not just there to feel good. Adults are very relevancy-oriented. What does it mean to them and how would they use it? They're practical. They want real-life, practical, concrete learning that's not just theoretical discussion. Lastly, adults like to be respected. Obviously, they are adult and deserve to be respected. They don't appreciate being talked at or talked down to or treated as if an organisation was doing them a favour by teaching them.
What about groups, Michael? When I was at university, sometimes I was in lectures with hundreds of other people, so big or small.
Sure, I don't envy you hundreds of other people. No. No, the majority of adults prefer smaller group sizes where they can get to know each other and other students, where they can get their individual questions answered and get their individual attention from the facilitator.
Michael, I know that you've touched on this briefly. Perhaps we can talk some more and you could outline some specific ways that Cal can help alleviate some of these concerns and anxieties.
Sarah, let's start with a really important one. First one is that we get people settled pretty quickly. Look, after about 10 minutes into the first welcoming session, you can see people's shoulders relax and start to lighten up. Look, maybe, Sarah, it's your fantastic welcome. Maybe it's Caroline's great coffee or Steve and Katie's great help and assistance. But people work out very quickly that they're amongst peers and that everyone has some concerns. Look, another thing, Sarah, is we don't give exams, we don't give grades. You can either do it or you can't. There's no sudden death if you don't get it right the first time, just like in a workplace. You keep on trying till you get it right.
I might just stop you there for a second, Michael. I think people listening might be very interested to hear more about grading and exams. This can be very nerve-wracking for some people who haven't studied since high school, and there may be some very negative emotions surrounding this concept. So perhaps you could explain why we don't do exams or give out grades.
Yeah, look, Sarah, firstly, let me reiterate, we don't do exams and give exams or grades, and here's why. People, in the first place, don't like being examined. But more importantly also, because we don't give exams because that's not how the qualifications framework works. And the qualification itself is about your demonstrated ability to do a task or activity. Being competent is the ability to do a task or activity. It's having the skills and the knowledge required. It's also important to remember that adults have different levels of skills and experience. Some people are able to do things better and faster than someone else. That's not important. What's important is that they can both perform the required task. A good example we might look at might be being competent to run a marathon. The competency is the ability to cover the 42 Ks, not how fast you can run it. Some, a bit like yourself, might run it in a bit over 2 others. Others, well, perhaps a bit like myself, might take over 10 hours. What's important is they're both still marathoners. A chef and a master chef. Look, they've both got the ability to cook a cake, but obviously the master chef didn't start off as a master. They had to learn and then progress. Let's have a look at family and friends now. And here we have to do better with less time. We've got to learn to give better hugs. Don't walk out the door in the morning without people knowing that you love them. Set aside deliberate time for family and friends. People ask me all the time, look, how long is this going to take? It's impossible to answer. It's a piece of string question. But I can say this, the more experience you bring to the course and your determination, the shorter your study time will be. It's also important to remember the outlook we're looking for in our students here at Cal. We want them to be job ready, that they can walk the walk, not just talk the talk. Remember, the competency is the ability to do something, not just to talk about it. I'd also like to mention here is that we're not a tick and flick organisation. We take our responsibility very seriously in signing off that our students meet the required competencies, and we want to feel very confident that we're sending out qualified, job-ready professionals into the workplace. We're very proud of our graduates, and they can leave holding their heads up high because they know that they can do a better or get a new job because they've learned the knowledge they need and the skills to actually do the job. Now, why is that important? Because being job ready means they don't have to go into new start job modes and work their way up. They can step right in and advance straight away.
This is really great stuff that you've talked about here, Michael. I mean, obviously you've covered off some common anxieties that I'm sure lots of people can relate to, and you've highlighted why and how adult learning is different to other types of learning. And this may not be common knowledge, so it's great that you were able to explain that. It's also great to hear the sort of things that Cal can offer and how we can sort of spit job-ready students out into the workforce, which is really terrific. Let's finish off now by quickly running through some helpful tips, as promised, to get people on their way studying right now.
Sarah, over the years, and look, that's mainly through 12 years of night school, I've picked up a few hints.
A few hints, I should hope so, Michael.
Yeah, look, firstly, before you start answering anything, make sure you know the topic and the subject matter, and you know what you're trying to answer. You've got to know what you're trying to achieve. To take a structured approach to the way you go about your work, to plan the work, then work the plan. You have to stay focused, prioritised and disciplined. You've got to value work time, study time, rest time and play time. You've got to work out your best study method and routines and times and stick to it. You've got to look after yourself, to keep fit, to eat well, to sleep well, to take regular breaks. Very important hit is to take notes. Take notes during the classroom sessions, to take notes when you're doing work online, to take notes about your readings, your journals, articles that you read. Particularly put references in so that when you're answering your work, you've got these ready to hand, and that makes you very efficient and productive in writing materials. Look, sometimes it can all get a bit hard and you question why you're doing this study. In those dark times, keep positive. Keep your eye on the prize and always remember why and for who you're doing this study. But perhaps the biggest tip of all is regular routine in regular time slots. Aristotle nailed it 2,000 years ago. He said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. Get into the right study habits as quickly as you can. Sarah, in your role, in your coaching role with Cal students, what other ways have you experienced that we can help our students get over their anxiety of returning to study?
Well, Michael, obviously a very big and much appreciated one is our coaching calls and the access students have to coaches. We encourage students to contact us to talk through their issues, as well as to receive feedback on their progress and their assessment tasks. Our unit assessment task planners help students in how to go about completing their assessment tasks. Planning the work, like you say, Michael, and then working the plan provides a structured methodology to complete tasks. And also students have 24-hour access to a vast depth of material on our website tutorials. There are videos, articles, tools and quizzes, all there to help when they're required.
That's a great toolkit you've provided there, Sarah. Is there anything else?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Michael. Of course there's more. We can facilitate Facebook group discussions in addition to research papers, reports and blogs, software tools we also provide, regular webinars that can be accessed at the student's convenience, so even if you're not able to join us at the scheduled time, they'll still be there available for you whenever you're ready.
Gee, that's a great toolbox of assistance, Sarah. Look, I'd like just to finish off with a couple of final thoughts. Really important to have fun on the way through. Regularly celebrate your successes with your family and friends. Keep focused on the end goal. And whether you're undertaking your study for career progression, to advance in a job, keep a job or get a job, or for a career change, the end result of all your hard work and your study can be very, very rewarding.
Thanks, Michael. That's such a great point, actually. I'm glad that you've reminded us all to have fun because it's not meant to be painful. And it can be easy to become distracted and to forget that study is immensely rewarding. And we really do make it as easy as possible for people to return to study here at Cal. So now that we've covered off the 10 common anxieties that adult learners often face, we've covered off the adult learning principles, and we've given you some really handy tips to get you on your way, I do hope that people listening, do feel more confident in overcoming their anxieties around returning to study, knowing that the CAL facilitators and coaches really do understand how you as an adult want to learn. If you have any other study tips that you'd like to add to our list, do let us know. Or if you'd like to contact Michael or myself, we'd love to talk some more. Or in fact, any one of the helpful team members at Cal would love the opportunity to assist you. Our contact details are on the screen now. You can visit our website to see what we offer, pop us through an email, call us the old-fashioned way, or you can like us on Facebook. Thanks so much for listening, and we really do look forward to helping you progress with your career. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.